Hey everyone, this is me, Ebony. I am getting on here real quick for a quick word of encouragement. I really felt like God put this on my heart to give you. And I just wanted to give you a word of getting into alignment with God. God showed me something in my life over the last week or so dealing with this particular thing. And I'm not going to get into details about it, but what I do want to encourage you is to think of the story of Abraham, right? Abraham and I believe it was his cousin Lot. At some point, God required Abraham to depart from Lot, right? And you guys all know what happened with Lot and his wife later on down the line. Abraham did not know that, but God did. But not only that, because of the call that God had on Abraham's life, and this is not just for Abraham, this is other people throughout the Bible. Because of the call that God had on Abraham's life, Abraham, at that time especially, because he was still on his journey, God had gave him a word and said, you shall, have a son. And at this time, he had no kids. He had nothing. And God had gave him a dream. He had gave him a vision. And on his journey, he was journeying. And Abraham had to, go his separate ways and whatnot. And there started to be some rift between Abraham and Lot. The animals is getting too much, on, both sides. And this is how you can tell when God is causing a shift in your life. And this is how you can tell when God is not only speaking to you about not letting everyone have access to you, and those who do have access to you, to get rid of them. And like I said, it's not because they may be horrible. It's not, it's not because, maybe something's wrong with them. And it could be that. It could be that maybe what's going to happen to them later on, God does not want you a part of, right? And with Abraham and Lot, there started to be some rift. There started to be some bickering and things like that. And what God had already put in Abraham's heart, because Abraham wanted to keep his family around, God started allowing certain things to happen. And what I want to tell you is that when God is requiring you to be elevated, and when God wants to send his God divine people in your life, right? He's going to need certain people to be removed from your life, because who you are connected to is extremely important. In my latest podcast that I uploaded recently, I spoke about how when you're connected to the wrong people, when you're in the wrong part of, someone's life, you are going to reap their harvest. And God doesn't want you connected to people who've sown bad seeds, who are going to reap a bad harvest. God is saying that the path that he has you going on is going to require you to get rid of the people that you so desperately want in your life. And it doesn't mean that, it doesn't mean that, you don't have feelings. It doesn't mean that you don't care for them. And it doesn't mean that you have to stop caring for them. It's just that sometimes God is going to require you, and this is going to sometimes be a test for you, and God is going to test you. You say you want his will. You say you want the things that he has for you. You say that you are praying for God divine ordained connections, right? God is going to sometimes allow you to know that a person or certain people are not meant for you, and they are not meant to be in your life, but you are still going to want that desire. That desire is still going to be there. And God is saying to you, are you going to choose my destiny over your feelings? Or are you going to choose your feelings over my destiny? Your feelings is you don't want to get rid of your family members. And sometimes you have to. Sometimes you have to part ways. Sometimes you don't want to depart from your friends, even when you see all the red flags. Sometimes you don't want to give up that person who you would love to date or who you think is for you, but you know that they're toxic. You know that they're lying. You know that they're no good for you. Their behavior patterns are stemming from certain types of trauma that they've dealt with, right? God says, I'm going to allow you to see all of that But you still have to make the choice based on what I'm telling you. And it's not that all the time that God is going to always tell us by giving us a word. Sometimes he'll put a knowing down on the inside in our spirits, and we'll want to how can I say it? We'll have a desire to want to go another way, but our feelings may tell us to stay in bondage, to keep listening to the family gossip about other family members, to keep wanting to do certain things, right? When you are getting into alignment with God, it's going to require a shift. Because in order to be aligned, right, you have to move from this side, from the right to the left, and from the left to the right. That requires some shifting. A shifting doesn't always feel comfortable. A shifting does not always feel easy. A shifting sometimes is very painful. It's hard to leave people who you like. It's hard to depart from people who you've built a relationship with, who you've had dinner with, who you've had supper with, who you would drink coffee with. It's hard because we as human beings, we were not meant to feel pain. But because of the world of sin, that we were born into, unfortunately, this is now a part of life because of sin. So my word to you today is, right, and keep this in your spirit, keep this in your mind. Get into alignment with God no matter how much it costs, because I'm going to tell you, your destiny is not worth it. Everything that God has for you, everything that he has calling to you, is going to require you to have the guts to say, you know what, I don't care how much it hurts, I'm going to go forward in the Lord. And that's what Abraham did, right? And that's what I had to do. And when you start being serious about God, it's not that you pray about being serious about God and then God sends you people, right? And it's not about you trying to change your ways and then God sends you people, right? When I tell you alignment, I mean alignment. Alignment means not only do you have to pray, but you also have to do. You have to pray and you have to do. You have to pray and you have to do. You have to pray and you have to do. And you have to keep praying and you have to keep doing. And when God sees that your heart is turning towards him and your heart is getting into alignment with God, that is when God is going to say, okay, you know what? They're turning away from the people. They're turning away a plate of food. They're turning away from the television. They're turning away certain things. When God starts having you wean out certain things and you start making room and you're starting to open your hands, like I put in my book, Failing Forward into God's Purpose. I put that not only do you have to have your hands open to God, but you have to put your hands to the plow. And you have to open your hands up to God as well as get into alignment, saying, you know what, God, my hands are empty of me, but I'm ready for my hands and my heart to be full of you. When God sees that you are ready for that, when God sees that you are serious about not only doing what he told you to do the last time, and not only just praying about it, God is going to start sending you God-ordained divine connections. He is going to start sending them your way. He's going to start sending you the people. He's going to start giving you the business plans. He's going to start sending you the business connections, the business partners. He's going to start allowing you to sign some contracts. He's going to give you the ideas you need for what he spoke about years ago and maybe a year ago and maybe 3 years ago. And whoever's not on the playing field and whoever is not meant to be, guess what? It's nothing personal. Tell them it's all business. Because like Jesus said, and I'll say this before I get off of here, Jesus said, I will be about my Father's business. So when someone says, oh, is this personal? Tell them no. Tell them it's business. Tell them you're about God's business. And tell them if it's meant for you to see them later on down in life, you'll see them. If not, hey, peace out, right? So y'all get this word. Y'all get this word. God is doing a shift and he's aligning certain things. And y'all got to be in alignment, because if you're not, don't miss out. I'm telling you. Don't miss out. I'm telling you. Because God's got something for you. Y'all stay blessed and y'all take care.